Feel it coming. It's that time again. It's those old goofy goblins. Welcome to Goofs and Goblins, the tabletop role-playing anthology.
Once upon a time, 3 adventurers traveled deeper into the Grimswood, running afoul one of its more antagonistic denizens, the young witch Kikimora. The fight was brutal and almost cost the life of the dragon god's chosen, Shaw. But quick thinking by the noble Felina and a magic potion brewed by yours truly revived the good monk, and together the 3 put an end to Kikimora's foul deeds. The death of her and her familiar broke the curse she had placed upon several minor lordlings who had been waddling their way after the party for some amount of time. Now free of their feathered features, the young nobles Trad, Thad, Gad, Stag, and Lewit pledged their appreciation, loyalty, and intention to court their lady rescuer before absconding back to the relative safety of their homelands. Now, the party ventures forth, hoping to overcome the arcane defenses of the Grimswood. So, you all watch the Bay Area lordlings make their way in the opposite direction of you, back towards the safety of Wartburg and the Raven Citadel, and away from the arcane enchantments of the forest that is trying to repel all outsiders. If I could please get one more roll.
Nose goes, not rolling.
For a thing happened that we had to stop for.
I got a 10.
Okay. 10 and 10. This is unprecedented. You all travel through the wood. Wet leaves squelch beneath your feet. You keep going unerringly in the right direction. Your compass and maps have been taking care of that, but otherwise the geography of the place seems to shift with the fronts of mist. So single-family cottages dot the landscape as you guys traverse the wood. They're simple thatched roof homes. They're homey if you have no greater aspirations than the land you can see when you wake up in the morning. Every once in a while, you guys cross a stream that has a mill, dotting the landscape, using the current to grind vegetation into flour and meal. You hear voices in the woods sometimes. You can hear dogs barking or wolves howling in a mid-hunt. It's generally a alright if gray and dreary place when you're not being attacked or having your sanity challenged. As you travel, though, you spy in the distance the kobold-driven armored cart from the Citadel. It's got its ever-roving Stone of Farsight on top, and it's constantly sort of lighthousing around, bright with magic. But
Do you guys want to set up for an ambush?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't get caught, we should be fine, right?
Felina, my elf eyes see that the kobold caravan is passing in front of us.
Then we must charge it right away.
you guys ready your weapons and let loose primal screams of, I guess, like, fury? The 3 of you charge the kobold-driven armored cart, and just as you take a few steps towards it, a unfortunate cloud of mist rolls in between the 2 groups, and it completely obscures your vision. And by the time you charge through the mist, the cart, as if by magic, is gone.
Shaw swears in the Eastern tongue. Deus ex machina.
Got him.
Cool.
Cool. So as you guys travel, you come across a well, which is pretty fortuitous because you're starting to run low on water. You've been walking for almost 10 hours. Your water is definitely running a little low. There's a bucket beside the well tied to a long rope that you could easily drop in. What do you want to do?
Well, gosh, who needs water when you guys have power aid?
Oh, that's a good point. You could just drink straight Powerade.
I replenish my electrolytes at the same time.
It's got what plants crave.
It's got what those plants crave.
everybody's still hurt, right? I could heal us. I should probably do that. Hey, Shaw, come here real quick.
Yeah.
Malthus caresses Shaw's butt, and then cast Cure Wounds. 4. Where's my D8? How do I D8, guys? 6 plus my charisma, is that right? So, for 10 HPs.
Nice.
Cool, that puts me at 29 out of 35 hit points.
Got him. Easy peasy.
So aside from taking a short breather and grabbing some heals from the party bard in the form of, I guess, heavy petting, which, I mean, do you? Nobody wants to grab any water, which is totally cool. You guys continue on.
Shaw wants to look into the well, though, and see if there's any Timmies.
Lena just like doesn't even look in the well. She just pulls it out, starts chugging.
Oh, okay. Felina, you gain the benefits of a short rest.
Cool.
So you can spend hit die. Actually,
why not?
Hammer, I don't know. I remember seeing something on your social media about a celebrity coming in, and do you think someone might be able to tell us about hit die and recovering during a short rest?
Yeah, okay,
Maybe Christopher Walken?
yeah,
I know
that's
he's
kinda
in
what I
that
was
area.
thinking, too. Alright, so you guys want Goof Master tips with Christopher Walken?
I mean, I would love it if he was there.
Wow, that's a little crazy, because it just so happens that I'm here in the studio today. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about short rests. Oh, God. So, trying to at once do an impression and then also give, like, a succinct version of D&D fucking rules. It's fantasy heroes, you know, they're larger than life, but, you know, they can't go forever. Sometimes they gotta take a rest. Either a short one or a long one. And every D&D class, they get some of their features back after either a short rest or a long rest. They recover some of their hit points. Not all of them. They can spin a hit dice. That's just like, you know, some of your hit points coming back to you. So on a short rest, you can spin those, recover some hit points, and I'm pretty sure that's what our little goofy goblins are doing right here.
Sweet. So, Johnstone, you gain the benefits of a short rest. How many hit dice do you recover? How many hit points?
I don't remember how hit dice work, so I just did 3.
Okay. Yeah, you're level 6, so you can recover a total of... You can roll a total of 6 die before you have to take a long rest. And I think you have a D10, because you're a big, beefy fighter. And you rolled a total of 11 points.
No, that's 21. I think your math's off, Matt.
272?
No, that's a 10, 10, and a 1. I'm pretty sure your math's off. Maybe your eyes are off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to yes and here, but I think like the math gods would frown at that.
Yeah, there are some limits on that, I think.
So 11 points to Felina brings her up to 62.
Yes.
Yeah, English major.
Math.
So, Felina, that's the good news, is you gain the benefits of a short rest.
What
As
Matt
you
didn't
drain-
realize is it was not 62 hit points.
Wait, was it not? Shit,
It
now
totally
I'm worried.
is. What are you talking about?
No, he's not going to hear that. That'll be in post.
49 plus 11 is 60. Damn it. Whatever. You have
No, that's
62. You have 62. Take it. Take it for my poor education.
What Matt really meant when he said English major was English major.
So, as you drain the bucket, however, you see several child skulls in the bottom of the bucket, rolling around like upsettingly grotesque ice
The first
cubes.
thing
What are you
I
talking
did
about? I
was
said I don't look at
inspect for Timmy's.
As you were trying to inspect Shaw, she was chugging it.
She is a cantankerous wench.
And I mean, These skulls like slap you right in the face, Felina, as
like
you
too much
upend
ice
this
coming
bucket.
out all at once.
I need you to roll a sanity check real quick.
Yeah, I know.
Your favorite.
Obviously.
Oh,
16.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right. You see these skulls, and it is unnerving, but
And I
you
keep drinking.
yeah, but you just keep drinking.
fuck these children's skulls. I need this water
It's all
now.
fucking forced anyway. It's all just an illusion.
He drank it so hard that he got the benefits of a long rest instead of a short rest.
Sweet. So after you finish drinking, do you tell anyone maybe to not drink the water, or
Would anyone like some?
Is it
Keep in
refreshing?
mind, there's some skulls in there. As you
Oh, is
saw
there?
as it hit me in the face on the way.
Yeah, that was pretty great. I drink some of the water.
do you drink some of the water too?
Yep.
Okay, for drinking children's skull infested water, yeah, you're gonna need to roll a sanity check.
Get at ya, boy.
Malthus
He
just
rolled-
rolled a 16, soundly beating the DC for this sanity check. So apparently, drinking from water with children's skulls in it is not a big deal to our resident
Our
tiefling.
resident demon.
Yeah. Malthus, you get to take a short rest without actually having to wait around for a short rest too, so you can recover some hit die if you want.
Alright, I am at let me get one more in there. No, I'm at almost max. I'll just keep it at that.
Okay, Malthus recovers 10 hit points, and 10 is something I can add very well. So I know that Malthus goes from 24 to 34.
Yay, hooray!
English major,
Bow,
round
bow,
2.
bow.
So at this point, Shaw, you definitely know of the skulls.
Sure, easy. Shaw grabs the bucket and pulls it close to his face like he's going to drink from it, and then falls on both knees, dumps out the bucket, and starts burying them with his hands, digging at the dirt, clawing with his fingernails.
All right, Shaw, that was very nice of you to do that. For some little ghosties come out of the well, and they're like, "Thank you, Shaw. You put us to rest."
Alright, now roll sanity because they knew your name and you had no idea who the children were.
So, not far away from the well, you actually stumble upon something right in the middle of your path. You see, from a distance, it looks like 3 hills. And as the mist sort of fades and you get closer, you see the hills are moving. And then as you get even closer, you see the hills
Have
aren't
eyes.
hills. They do have eyes because they're hill giants. Huge humanoid creatures, big enough to eat a person if they wanted, are arguing amongst themselves around a big,
Let's hear it.
giant-sized campsite.
Hill giants traditionally have Cockney accents.
One of them says, "I think I'd be the best chieftain of our group because I got the brains to lead us around and not get lost." And then the other one says, "You ain't got brains, just some rocks stumbling about in there. I should be the chief. I know how to get in them caves and find those little goblinses and eat 'em up right good." And then the last hill giant says,
Oh, there's 3 of them.
yes, there's 3 giants.
Good luck. You've already gone high and low, buddy.
3-way conversation with yourself.
Hey, go like Kelsey Grammer now. Well, like the smart hill giant.
Well, this hill giant you see is actually a woman. And because it's not hard enough already on me. And she...
You wrote it.
Yeah, I did. Whew, I did. And she takes a big drink from a flagon that looks like just a entire wine cask that's been popped open on one end and like someone has crudely fixed a handle on the side. And she takes a really deep pull and she says, "Obviously, I should be the leader. I'd make a great chiefess, and I'd tell you dunderheads what to do and where to go, and together we'd rule this section of the Grimm's Wood. And the other two are like, "Aw, aw," and they're all still just drinking and boasting, talking about whatever big feats they did. One's like, "One time I flattened 6 cottages all by myself. Those weren't cottages, they were cabins."
They were cabins, they were cabbages.
Yeah, exactly. The girl's like, "They were cabbages, and you didn't flatten any of them. You just kind of ran around like a chicken with your head cut off." And eventually they kind of notice you guys approaching, and they stop for a moment and regard you all. And
Oh, do they see us?
yeah, they see you.
Because they're so high up, they can look down and see us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they can see why kids love cinema?
Feel free to ask them if you want, but the 3 giants turn and regard you 3, and they blink their huge eyes and sort of peer down at you all. One of them wipes the drink from their mouth, and another one puts down what looks like basically an entire deer that had just been like lightly roasted, and it like flumps on their giant table that they've been eating at.
Shaw puts an arm over Malthus and says, "I believe it was Tolstoy that said," and just continues walking through them.
I
believe
you start
it was.
trying to walk through them, one of them says, hold on. What's this then?" And he puts like a hand down, and it like neatly blocks your path between their tables. Hello. What are your names then? Not many Tyneses coming around our neck of the wood.
I believe it was Tolstoy that said.
Okay,
Are we Moss Roy and
Jen?
Jen?
oh god, kind of.
Fuck. God damn it.
Right, so the 3 giants regard you all, and one of them says, "Oh, now don't be getting all worried. We're not gonna eat you, at least not right away. We got plenty of food here, and we only eat the weak." And then the other one goes, Yeah, it's survival of the fittest and all that. We won't eat you if you look too fit. Aye.
Your survival would be cut short if you faced Felina Duquesne,
Who's that then?
the most powerful knight in all of Faerun.
You turn around and Felina's not there.
Do you want to hear the ballad of Felina?
Oi, can they sing then? Yeah. The 3 giants look interested in a bit of a show.
I mean, I wasn't really expecting them to say yes, but so I pull out my violin, and then I play the same tune from when we played for the Queen for Felina's. What did we call it? Was it just the
ballad of Felina Duquesne?
Was it just the ballad of Felina?
The ballad of Dame Felina.
The ballad of Dame Felina. I don't have anything here.
Well, luckily for those of us who can't compose music on the fly, this system has a lovely way of determining how good or bad your performance is, and that's with a dice roll. So why don't you roll me a performance check?
Rule schmools. Just start singing, Tran.
I got a 25 to performance.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, you keep it short and sweet, and you pull it off with crisp efficiency and with all the bravado a bard of your caliber can have. The giants fucking love it. They all start clapping, and their claps are like little thunder claps. They're so loud, and every time their hands connect, you can see like the ground around you jump.
The cantrip thunderclap happens each time, just of its own accord.
That's not a cantrip. That's a level 1 spell.
And the female hill troll says, "Grog, Smeck, I think I know how we can settle our little disagreement. We'll have them decide." And the other two are like, Yeah, that's a great idea. We'll have them decide. And the three turn to you, and Grug says, all right, Tinysies, there's three of us, and only one can be chief. But we can't decide who it should be. So, we need you all to help us figure out who's the best of us. And...
Well, clearly, you are deadly cunning, but he is cunningly deadly.
And then Smek...
But she... There's not enough female representation in media. She should be your chieftain.
Smek...
Which one of you has the most royal blood, I'd say?
Smek goes, oh, we ain't got none royalty around here. It's all about the law of the wood. Whoever's the strongest gets to be in charge. How's about this then? And the...
Felina looks really perplexed at this.
Gauntlet. Nobody's chanting with me. Damn it.
So the one with the very high voice, who is kind of he's thinner and more reedy than the other two. He reaches behind himself.
Is that Greg or Smarl?
He seems to be Smek. Grug and Smek are the two guys, and Smek reaches behind him and he pulls out what for him is kind of small, but for you guys is a normal to large sized bag, and he drops it on the table, which you guys can't quite see the tops of, but you hear a metallic like clunk, and then some coins spill over the table. And he says, 1-on-1, the three of us will take on the three of you on something. And if you win, you'll get one of our bags of treasure apiece. And then whichever one of us beats one of you, they can be the chief. And the other two giants are like, oh, well, that's not a bad idea at all. And the female goes, yeah, all right, I'll wager my treasure. And she pulls out her bag too. And then the big one, Grug, also pulls out a bag. And they slap down some nice bags of treasure. And they challenge the three of y'all to 3 one-on-one contests to see if they can, who they can beat and what they can win.
We will accept your challenges on the condition that we choose the challenge.
All right. I mean,
it would be no proof of your skill if you can only beat someone in something of your own choosing. Therefore, we must choose to show that you are the greatest chieftain among the hill giants.
And the three of them kind of go, group huddle. And they like get all together and they talk and stuff. And
Group huddle, guys.
Yeah, group huddle.
We should have them race to the end of the Grimswood.
I agree.
I was thinking of maybe hiding in a small place.
That's a good idea, too. But if we race to the end of the Grimswood, we could be free of these woods using their longer legs.
That is true.
So the three giants come back and they say, and the female says, how about this? We pick the challenges, you decide who does what, and we promise none of them are lethal.
I mean, that sounds pretty fair to me, I guess. I do love me a wager, so let's do this.
Hark, do you hear? A steam engine. Anyway, yeah, I accept their conditions.
Right, so there's 3 things every giant needs to be good at if they want to be chief. They gotta be good at eating and drinking. They gotta be good at wrestling. And they gotta be good at... and Grug sort of stalls out. And Smek says, they gotta be good at hitting stuff far away with the boulders and the like. And Grug's like, oh, yeah. So, who do you want to wrestle? And who do you want to do the wrestling?
Group huddle.
Group huddle.
Guys, I'm not good at any of those things.
I'm not really great at those either. Throwing rocks, wrestling, and what was the other thing?
Eating and drinking. I'm good at, wits, but maybe that's about it.
Felina, what do you think? Not good. Scared silent.
Oh, sorry, my recording volume was down. I do have good dex, strength, and constitution.
All right. You should do all three.
But wrestling a giant seems mighty unfair.
Oh wait, I have decent dexterity, so
We all have the same decent dexterity, don't forget.
that is true. We all have +3 dexterity.
Oh, we do, that's true.
Okay, well, I was considering becoming a drunken master anyway. Maybe I could do the eating.
And I guess
You could wrestle, since you definitely can't throw rocks, and I can't either.
yeah, I guess I'll.
Well, I mean,
I'll
he's got
wrestle.
the same chance of throwing rocks as me or you, so he should throw rocks.
Wait, isn't
Wait.
throw rocks a strength check?
Wouldn't that be a strength check?
I don't know, how big are the rocks?
They're hill giant sized, is my assumption.
So I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure all three of us would have. I'm pretty sure all three of us would have the same chance of not throwing these boulders around.
Shaw goes back to the hill giants and says, just one thing. Are these a strength, a dex, and a constitution contest?
And they look at each other and like kind of scratch their heads, and Titania leans down to you guys and says, well, we don't know what all those fancy words mean, but a wrestling match will be one character against one giant in single unarmed combat. A wrestling match, you gotta win by pinning them or bloodying them. And then an eating contest is just what it sounds like. You gotta eat and match us mouthful for mouthful. Obviously,
Oh, fuck.
you're not gonna have to eat the same amount as us, but you gotta keep eating for as long as one of us does. And then with the target contest, I guess we'll just take turns doing shots. You can shoot whatever you
But is
want
it about
with whatever you
hitting
got.
something, or is it about how far you can throw it?
Oh shit! Yeah, I got a bow. I could do that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, maybe I should wrestle then since it's unarmed.
I mean, I don't care. I've got pretty good athletics.
Oh, so you could pin really well. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there's no thing in like pin unless you have the feet stuff. So
Oh, that's true. Okay. All right. Well, if they want us to just like throw things, I could throw throw arrows with my bow.
You throw arrows with your bow.
Yeah.
I like throw bows better.
Yeah. I also throw elbows.
Grug pounds his fist on a table, and he's like, I'm getting bored waiting. Which one of y'all's gonna wrestle? And which one of us do you want to wrestle?
Who's gonna wrestle? Who was it?
I
Me?
think Hammer. I think Shaw is. Shaw, that's you. You're gonna go wrestle, and I
Cool, sounds good to me.
wait. I pat Shaw on the bum, and I cast Enhance Ability,
Oh,
and I am going to choose which ability do you need? Bull Strength, probably.
No, give me Cat's Grace.
Cat's Grace. Okay.
You think back to all the times that Shaw has told you about his martial arts and says that you must
It's
be
all
like
dexterity.
Wata. Yeah. You
the-
move with the hit.
The target has advantage on dexterity checks. It also doesn't take damage from fall of 20 feet or less. Okay. Yeah. I cast Cat's Grace.
Hey guys, and welcome, and a quick word from our sponsor.
Do you get tired fighting goblins all the goddamn time? Are regular healing potions not getting the job done? What are you gonna do, you pansy?
But chug that healing potion?
That takes too long. Try new Powerade. It's the drink with an E at the end of it. The E is for energy. Full of evocation magic for that temporary boost in health. It'll fuck you up. And divination magic that'll let you see the future. Order now to get your Powerade in a special sympathetic magic flask.
Sympathetic? Does that mean it's weak?
No, you idiot! It'll refill itself for you, leaving all the power in your hands and no sympathy for your enemies. 3 new advantage-filled flavors: Purple Rain, White Privilege, and Passion Fruit.
Buy some today, you whip.
Go to your local apothecaries and demand they stock the Grimswood's finest in magical potions, or else. Powerade, buy it.
sweet. So the match ends in a win for you if you can grapple or bloody him. The match ends for a win for them if you give up or cannot fight anymore. Shaw walks forward, and Shaw, you've got 3 choices of opponents here.
Greg, Seth, and Tatiana.
Greg's.
Shaw's doing his best, guys. He's not from here. Shaw fights Greg. Shaw points his hand at Grug the Hill Giant and tells him, "On the honor of my house, and by the style of the dragon fist of the dragon god, I challenge you to single combat."
And Grug stands up from his table, and he's like, "Oh, I was hoping for this."
No, Grug, I assure you, you were not.
Oh.
And Shaw flexes and his fucking shirt rips off just from him flexing.
Grug's like, "Oh, well, I can do that too."
And then Shaw stomps, and there like 2 fucking craters form beneath his feet. There's an ethereal energy seeping off of his every pore. It smells awful.
Nice. Roll initiative to see who can go between the 2 of you first.
Shaw delays at 0 initiative.
Okay. Grug runs at you and goes in to try and grapple you. And so he is going to roll an athletics check versus your athletics check.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good roll.
That didn't happen on Matt's side either. That's the real deal. There's no
Yeah, but you can use
pretending.
acrobatics to dodge.
Oh, can I now? All right. So I just need to beat that with my acrobatics check?
Yeah, and you have advantage.
Oh, shit. All right.
With
so
that
that's a
cat's
D20 plus 7.
Grace. Oh, shit.
Does the advantage come from Cat's Grace?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice. Oh! So,
Dope.
Grug barrels forward, a hill giant yell roaring forth from his throat, and he tries to tackle Shaw, but yeah, Shaw makes that noise exactly and nimbly leaps out of the way. Shaw, it's your turn.
And that's his whole action, right? Okay.
Yeah, he's on the ground.
And is going to do 3 attacks.
So you're going with the trying to bloody him rather than try to grapple him?
Oh, hell yeah. I can't grapple for shit. I don't know how much health this guy has, but if I stun him and just keep stunning him every round.
Holy shit.
If I can't bloody him by the time I've done all 6 key points worth of attacks, I'm not going to be at a good place. But if I can...
All right, well, roll it for your first attack.
All right, 1 sec. Okay, that's a D20 plus 7. 14.
Yeah, that hits.
Cool. All right, second attack. 26. Second attack. Third attack. 8. Not so good. Okay.
Technically, all of these have advantage. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't work to attack rolls. Go for it. Sorry.
No, it's just that checks. Dex checks.
And then I'm also going to roll to stun him. Oh, god damn it. I'm never going to fucking stun a hill giant. He's got
Constitution for
saving
days.
throws. Yeah, okay. Should I even?
Do you have to spend a key point to do it?
I do. To even attempt it.
Do not know. Nah.
No, I won't. I'll save all my key points for just extra attacks. So I get to take 2 attacks a turn. I can spend a key point after any time I take the attack action to add 2 attacks, which I've done once. Now I'll do a second time, so 3 more attacks.
Go for it. Nice. 3
17 to
hits.
hit. All right, 3 more hits. 25 more damage.
Ooh, cool.
Okay, cool. Shaw's feet as light as little cat paws, as light as little toe beans. Shaw lands behind him and says, "Sorry, nothing personal." And beats the shit out of his back with unarmed attacks. Punches, kicks, elbows, feet, noses, foreheads, ears, eyes.
Nice.
Hip bone, scapula, all of them just become lethal weapons of death, striking the hill giant and all of his weak points.
And he takes those hits, and he's just like, you can see you've done damage. Like, you can see the imprints of your knuckles on his skin. But he picks himself up and he says, "All right, bit the old slap and tickle then." And then It's his turn.
Oh wait, hold on. And then also he needs to roll to be knocked prone 6 times. I'm sorry, 5 times.
Holy shit. Okay, what does he have to beat again?
He needs to make a dexterity throw or be knocked prone. Oh, and I'm sorry, that he only needs to do it 3 times, not 5. And the DC is 14.
All right then. Well, all right. That's 1 success and a failure. Okay, so he goes down.
Fall it over.
So he picks it up and he's like, "Oh, fancy a bit of the old slap and tickle then?" And then he jumps a little bit in the air. He doesn't have to jump very high to get above you and tries to squash you.
Oh, fuck.
So, this is gonna be a regular attack. Holy shit. So he rolled a natural 20, and I swear to God I am not fudging that. So, Hammer, you take 6d6 plus 5 bludgeoning damage. The hill giant jumps in the air and squashes you for 26 damage.
Oh, cool. So I've still got 3 hit points.
You can keep fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here's the thing, though. He squashes you. The target is grappled because he's all up on you, and you are prone because he's also prone on top of you. So he's in the wrestle now. He's got his WWE blood pumping, and he jumps in the air and lands on you, and he's like, "Oh, about a little bit of the old belly bounce," and he like starts trying to just like,
God damn it, these fucking hill giants are just birdie.
It is your turn. You can try to escape his grapple. I believe you can still do things like interact with items.
I'm pretty sure grappling
you can
in
still
5th
hit.
edition is not the monster that it's been in any other edition.
Yeah, your movement is reduced to 0, and I think you have disadvantage.
It can't
on
benefit
attack
from any
rolls.
bonus to its speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated. The condition also ends. That's it. I'm just at 0 speed.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can attack still, by the way.
Yeah. What are the rules on standing up from prone in this game?
Yeah, standing up from prone takes half of your speed, and since your speed is 0, you cannot stand up from prone.
You can escape the grapple with an acrobatics check
Yes.
versus a strength check or athletics check on his part.
And that just takes my move action, right? Not my action?
I don't know.
Well, whatever. I gotta get out of this dude's hands. Does a 27
Oh, yeah, for sure.
beat it?
Like a greased pig, you just slip right out from underneath his gut.
Cool. The will of the dragon god is that I not be underneath a hill giant.
And if you don't want to like go anywhere from your position outside of him, like right next to him, I'll say that was your movement to get out with that escape check and stand up.
Okay,
so
cool.
You've got your regular action and bonus action.
Sweet. Letting you grapple me was a ploy to get you as close as I needed you, so I can make the finishing move. And a bunch of attacks. Just all
He's
the
prone,
attacks.
by the way, which means you have full advantage.
Advantage on each one? Okay, so I'm gonna do them two rolls at a time, and each one is 1 attack. So here's 1 attack. 18 is the higher, so that hits. Second attack also hits. Third attack hits. Fourth attack hits. Natural 20.
that's 20.
And fifth attack hits. Sixth attack hits. Almost natural 20. Oh, let's see. So all 6 attacks hit. One of them is at double damage.
Dang.
Double dice.
Double dice. Okay, so that's...
Holy shit. God, you were a murder machine.
Yeah. Cool. So now that Sean's got the hill giant face, on his stomach with just his face there, the fleshiest, most vulnerable part of his body, he just starts wailing on it, just punching. What? And ends with a powerful kick.
crushing his nose bone?
So you kick him so hard in the nose that, like the sound of rock being split, his nose just breaks, and
and it freezes, and it's like
Mountain splitting kick.
perfect. And Grug puts up a horrendous scream, and he's just like, and he grabs his nose, and he's like rolling on the ground, and the two of you have to, Malthus and Felina, you gotta kind of skirt out of the way as he rolls and like levels a couple trees, and he's just like, oh, my nose, he got my bloody nose. And Smek and Titania are just loving it. They're just laughing. They think this is the funniest damn thing. And Smek comes over to you, Shaw, and he, like, with his pointer finger and thumb, gently takes your wrist and lifts your fist up. And he's like, looks like we got a winner here. Creepy Monk Man. And everyone claps and is very proud of you.
remember, kids, winners don't do drugs.
Cool. And Titania is like, all right, good show. Grug, pick yourself back together, and you definitely can't be the chief. Now, who you want to bring forward in an eating and drinking contest?
That would be me.
All right, then have a seat right over here. And
What are we eating?
Smek grins, and he's like, oh, I got your favorites right here. It's everybody's favorites. It's biscotti. And he brings out, like, well, for them would be like a teacup, but for you it's like a huge bowl. And he ladles out of...
Oh, I like biscotti.
Yeah, he ladles out of a cauldron some, like, cold noodles and some kind of like blood pudding red sauce. And it just like slops in this bucket next to you. And he's like, and Smek smacks his belly, and he's like, I've been a champion eater for, and he counts on his fingers, and he's like, well, I guess I've never been a champion eater, but I'm a hungry little boy, and I'm ready to eat.
Malthus goes up to Felina and smacks her on the butt and says, good luck. And cast Bull's Endurance.
Are all of your buff spells done via, like, fondling?
Like, no, just like butt slap. Like, hey, good hustle out there.
Good hustle. Butt smack.
Alright, cool.
So now, Felina has advantage on Constitution checks and gains 2d6 temporary hit points.
Oh.
Shaw, bleeding from the mouth, goes over to Felina and is like, eating style is extremely strong. Do your best. and then flicks a bunch of blood off his hand to the ground.
Right,
I know that your trial will be even harder than mine, so I wish you all the luck in the world.
Well, thank you, Shaw. Malthus, you know what would go well with this? A nice red, please.
A red?
Wine.
Oh, wine. I pull out a leather skin. Is that what it's called? The water skin?
How about a wineskin?
A wineskin. I pull out a wineskin, and then I pull out a chalice, and it has Felina's name engraved on it. And then I swirl I pour it into the cup, and then I swirl it out a little bit to let it air, and then I hand it to Felina.
Thank you, Malthus.
Anytime. Sweet.
Alright, Felina whips out a fork and a knife.
Perfect. Titania stands in front of the two competitors, Smek and Felina, and she says, she holds up a dirty cloth napkin, which, since, I'm just on a roll giant sizing things, this napkin is like the canvas of some adventurer's tent.
Wait, so what am I trying to do here? Am I trying to, like, eat it all?
Eat for as long as they are.
You gotta keep pace with the giant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the key here is masticate.
So, she says, on your marks, get set, 8! And she throws the napkin to the ground, and you two just dig in with gusto, and you're going to town on this biscuit.
I dig in with poise and proper manners.
Okay. Despite your fine etiquette, you still manage to match Smack bite for bite. And after 10 minutes of this, you start to feel a little woozy, and you got to push through. So roll me a DC 12 Constitution save with advantage.
It doesn't matter. I saved it on the first.
Do it anyway.
Get a nat.
Sorry.
So yeah, Felina, despite her growing fullness, decides to push on through with a nice little sip from that red.
At this point, the Pischetti is totally gone, and Titania says, "Next course, some tasty bread." And there's just like a loaf of bread the size of a Volkswagen in front of Smek, and she tears off a big chunk and drops down like a size of bread, probably about the size of your shield, Felina, in front of you. And she's like,
Okay.
Bon appetite!
That makes you fat.
Now you're chomping on this bread, and
I'm still using my
okay,
fork and knife.
you're using your fork and knife. Maybe dipping the bread in the wine when it gets a little too dry to,
Ooh. What is he? Is he Kobayashi? None of that.
All right, fine. So another 10 minutes go by, and you're still keeping pace with Smek. After 10 minutes, though, your tummy gives a little rumbly again, and you need to make this time a DC 14 Constitution save.
Easy.
You got it, bud.
All right. So you finish that one, and just as he
Dessert, please.
and Titania says, "Well, it's a good thing you're still hungry for dessert. Here you go." It's just some super thick, like 8-layer double Dutch chocolate Black Forest cake, and you've gotta. And poor Smek is starting to, like, you can tell his stomach is literally starting to bulge. And he's still game, like he's still going, but he is not immune to this, the effects of this eating either. He still goes for it though. The cherries on his Black Forest cake are just entire branches of a cherry tree, and he's going at it with both hands, just like shoving chunks of cake in while you're still being incredibly proper with your knife. And at this point, Grug has sort of snapped his nose back into place, and very grumpily, as everyone's watching this eating contest, hands his bag of treasure to Shaw. And he's like, "There you go, you little tiny Z's. You earned it." And
Shaw slides it back to him. He has no need for.
Malthus walks over and is like, no, it's okay. I'll hold on to these. I'll hold on to
okay
this.
then.
Yes, Malthus will make sure that this makes it to the appropriate temple steps.
Cool.
Yes, that.
Shaw, you can see amongst some lesser than stellar items of treasure, like, particularly interesting cat skulls and some dirty coppers. There's a cloak of protection and a hat of disguise in here.
I recognize those.
I'm sorry, Malthus does.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Nice.
yeah, you've got time to do a little fist pump for some sick loot, while Felina needs to make a DC 16 Constitution save for this.
19.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you eat that last one, and the cake, and you both have like those food sweats now, and it's
Got any more?
Most people call that meat sweats, and it's like a barbecue thing. I'll drive passengers and like, oh yeah, Texas was the first time I got meat sweats. I'm like, oh, I thought that was just a food thing, and no, just a barbecue thing apparently.
okay. Well,
Yeah, so there you go.
so
The more
I
you
guess
know.
you've got cake sweats.
The
right
more
now.
you know.
And Titania says, "You're almost through it. We got what is this? That was course 3. All right." And she's like,
Yep.
"All right then. Is the last of it? You already had dessert, so here, have breakfast for double dessert." And she drops just like it's like she cracked a rock egg. Rocks are giant birds the size of buildings. Listeners. She like had a rock egg and she cracked it and scrambled it all up and has just what looks like maybe an entire village's yield of bacon, and she just drops that for the two of you. And now it's breakfast food.
Is this all the eggs and all the bacon you have?
Hold on, real quick. Maybe a fucked up question, but is saving the princess so important that we can't like feed every villager in the world with all this bacon and shit? Like, clearly these hill giants can find so much fucking food, and I bet world hunger is a problem in this weird like feudal medieval society. Why are we wasting our time doing anything but feeding the planet? Maybe it's the monk in me talking, but is this princess really that great? Whatever, go ahead. It's fantasy.
It's for the principle of the thing.
So yeah, Titania assures you that is all the bacon and all the eggs, and you tuck in, and
For one noble. You probably play golf every weekend at Mar-a-Lago, too.
and
Every episode until you like it.
and now you need to roll. Your tummy's like screaming at you now. If your tummy had a mouth that wasn't your actual mouth, it would be using that mouth to scream. But it has no mouth, and it must scream in the form of a DC 18 Constitution save.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh no!
No.
Why don't you tell the viewers what that score was?
14.
A 14. So, the bad news is you succumb to 1 level of exhaustion, which is
Oh,
the
is that
penalty
it?
for failing one of these DCs. So,
Too much food.
in retrospect, not an awful roll. And you're not looking hot, but Smek also isn't looking good. And before you guys can even, sit back from eating all that bacon and all that eggs, Titania says, "I was just kidding about there not being any more dessert. Have some more dessert." And she's got some big blood pies there for both of you. Quick, before you can think about it, make a DC 20 Constitution save.
Even looking at them, you need to...
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's 20.
baby! A triple.
Okay, so you look at this blood pie, right? And it's a single blood pie. And Smek has a hill giant sized blood pie in front of him. Don't ask how Titania made a full human sized blood pie. It's not important. What is important is Smek looks at his pie and just goes, "Ugh," and sloughs over unconscious. And Titania says, "You just have to take 1 bite."
Nicely cut a little square with her forks and knife. And brings it delicately up to her lips and takes a little bite.
All right.
Malthus goes over to the table and looks for some bacon that's left over and grabs a slice.
I'm sorry, Malthus, there is no bacon. They ate all the bacon.
Damn.
The good news is
Are there any red pills so that we can, figure out that this princess isn't hot shit and like feed the world?
Well, no, you can't feed the world because you ate all the food. All you have left is a single human-sized and a single giant-sized blood pie.
Oh my god, I've got but one fish and one loaf. How could I possibly feed this entire country?
Right, so Felina is declared the winner of the eating contest. And, I gotta go take care of shit. Here. And he, he gives you his sack of treasure and, stumbles off into some bushes. And I'm not going to describe the sounds that come from over there. Hammer, if you want to put in
buddy,
some elder
you don't need to
speech. Yeah, it sounds bad. And so
Tasmanian devil.
So Titania says, well then, I guess I'm the winner by default. And through his broken nose, you hear Grug say, oh, that's not the way it works. You still gotta get a point if you gotta beat our chief. Alright then. Okay, little devil boy, you and me, let's have ourselves a target contest.
I got a proposal. How about you just give me your treasure and then I forfeit the match?
Roll a persuasion check, because that's really good.
God. I was going to say.
I think it's a great idea.
22.
She leans down to you, and she gets right in your face, and she's got a really angry expression, and she says, I would never let you throw a match. And then the eye that isn't facing her hill giant brethren winks at you.
Malthus winks back.
Okay, cool. And she's like, all right then, here we go. And she just takes a rock and throws it, and it hits a tree. And she's like, all right, you gotta hit that tree.
I try to grab... Malthus tries to grab a rock and can't lift it. And it's just he does a tiny bit off the ground and then just lets it roll off his fingers. He's like, oh, I guess I lost this match.
And Titania's like, oh, I guess he lost this match. Means I'm the chief then, don't it? And Grug's like, oh, but wait a second. And she clocks him on the head. And she's like, no, too late. I'm the chief. No take backsies. And she very quickly kind of sweeps the last bag of treasure off the table and in your direction. And then she grabs Grug and she grabs Smek by the ears. And she's like, let's go then. I got lots of plans as chief. And she trundles them off over their complaints into the Grimm's Wood.
Bye, Gregory. Bye, Shrek.
Sweet. You guys have, in addition to that one bag of treasure, you also find in the other bags some sovereign glue, which is glue that can...
It's worth how many sovereigns?
It's not worth any sovereigns. However, it can stick any two things together permanently.
Permanently?
The Earth and the Moon?
If you could get the Earth and the Moon to touch.
Well, if the will of the dragon god is that they should.
You also find a cube of force, which is a little cube about an inch across. Each face has a distinct marking on it that can be pressed, and each marking does various cool things. And then in the last bag, you find a ring that is simple in gold, but the gold band on one edge kind of becomes a stylized ram, and it is appropriately a ring of the ram, which will let you basically do big cool charge attacks. And then you find a portable hole, which is a fine bit of black cloth.
It's a full-sized person blow-up doll.
I mean, if that's how you want to use it, I guess. This,
Isn't it 6 feet by 6 feet?
yeah. So it's folded up. You can fold it into basically the size.
I could. That's not
You
funny.
can. So yeah, you've got a portable hole. You can spread out this bit of black cloth to to be basically a 6 foot wide circle, and whenever it gets placed against any solid surface, it creates a extra dimensional hole 10 feet deep.
Now, Matt, tell me, is this a classic D&D item, or is it something from your own mind? This portable hole.
This portable hole, Christopher, is one of the D&D staples. It is often used in conjunction with other magical items.
Wow.
Or with a adventurer's ingenuity and know-how to often game-breaking effects.
Seems like this D&D game is a lot of fun, has a lot of backstory to it. Wizards. Do you hear us?
Cool. So, with your new, what's the opposite of ill-gotten gains?
New windfall?
Health-gotten gains? Yeah, with
How about just like this new windfall?
Well, I mean, a windfall's like, it just kind of happened. You guys had to work for these.
Rightly won.
I'm pretty sure this was a random encounter, wasn't it?
Well, you were not guaranteed to get any of this treasure.
We weren't guaranteed to win, but it was a random encounter. It's not like you were like, I'm going to give them a portable hole today because I'm a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so thanks to some fortuitous rolls, you guys have a boatload of cool toys to play with next time on a Grimm Realmm.
The Adventure Zone, the dragon friend. Oh, god damn it.
Dragon Ball Z. No.
Fuck.
The one shot.
Next time
no.
on the strain.
The campaign. No.
Campaign pod.
No.
Stranger
Campfire
Things.
guys. One-liner.
One-liner.
One-liner. Perfect.
Alright, I'm gonna finish recording so I can start packing.
Yeah, get out of here. Go to Japan, buddy.
Bye.
See ya.
The end. That's how the fairy tale ends, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks as we start our Captain Planet RPG. Just kidding. That's the kind of goofs we tell here on Goofs and Goblins. If you've come to enjoy these and other goofs brought to you by this podcast, why not write us a review on iTunes? A special shout out to a Mr. Bojangles for their kind review. You have warmed the hearts of these goofy goblins. So please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, as is the will of the Baby King. And you can always find us on our home on the web, goofsandgoblins.wordpress.com. Bye!